know and calm down. We have been taught that through consciousness we are superior to animals, and we are like God. But what if that is not so? What if in fact it is not our consciousness that makes us superior, but simply our knowledge? The great mystical doctrines, like the Kabbalah, state that God gave man existence, and then man gave God consciousness. To have knowledge means to know. That's not so hard to guess. But to have consciousness means to know that you know. So consciousness is an egocentric dichotomy, which separates me from the rest of the world and places me in the center of the universe. By consciousness, I know that I am the one who knows. Pride and vanity, don't they come from here? Does not having consciousness actually mean to worship yourself, to make an idol out of your own self? Can't you know and love even more without consciousness? Computers have now consciousness, yet they can know much more than we can, and they can even create. Animals do not have consciousness, but sometimes they give more evidence of love and fidelity than humans. Classical philosophy links morality to consciousness, talking about conscience, saying that having consciousness involves not only being aware of yourself and the surrounding world, but also being moral, behaving appropriately. But in fact, can't you be even more moral without consciousness? Isn't it better to know what you have to do and to do it without fooling about how moral you are? Only then morality can truly become a second nature. Psychological research shows that we do not actually need consciousness to act. And the feeling that we make informed decisions is an illusion, because action starts before decision making. But that does not hinder free will and responsibility. If consciousness disappears, we will live in a sort of dream, not knowing who we are, and we feel and what we are doing, but we will simply know, we will feel, and we will do. Psychology shows that there can be psychic life and morality without consciousness. Perhaps in the future, a substantial evolution of knowledge and society will only be realized at the expense of the disappearance of consciousness. Perhaps the divine new world prophesied by the sacred texts means precisely the emancipation of the conscious man. Can the conscience then be the original sin? Our religions tell us that supreme wisdom is self-oblivion. If you forget about yourself, you forget about fear and forget about death. Perhaps in order to know and to be truly reassured, we will have to forget that we know, even to forget that we exist. Maybe only then we will be with God.